wonders shall never end. When we the Biafrans are crying, telling these blind so-called Nigerian people, look at the dangers ahead. Most of them were busy calling us names. Most of them were busy saying that we are envious, or we are envy that, or we are jealous because they didn't give P2B the presidency. But as time begins to go, time go, all the whole things begin to unfold, starting from the prophecies of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, when he said that Somalia will be better than Nigeria. And people were the kind of, look at this hungry man. He's looking for cheap popularity and this and that. Now, even Yoruba, even Hausas now, join hands now, they praise the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He said this thing about a decade and a half ago. Almost 12 years ago, since 2012, he was crying on top of his voice. Make gonna see what they happen. Make gonna see the dangers ahead. Nobody cares to listen. My happiness today is that the disintegration of Nigeria is to the, it is to the advantage of the Biafran agitation, because it will get to a point whereby every section of the country will never take it again, and it will be divide. Let us go. Even the Northerners have started to agitate. And as I'm talking to you now, the bandit, the Boko Haram, the ISWAP in the north now are helping Biafra to agitate and to get ground, because the so-called Boko Harams are also agitating for their own right. But nobody sees it that way, simply because they are doing it in their own way, and which Biafra chooses to do a peaceful agitation. You understand me? Okay, make gonna see what thing they happen. Why I'm saying all this is because Nigeria now is up for sale. So if you know anybody where go buy Nigeria well, I beg make you bring that country, that man. Because I'm very, very sure that if Elon Musk open mouth now say he want buy Nigeria, my dear, they go say Nigeria give him with all the whole billions where you have. Yes, $210 billion dollars. That is the richest world, the richest man in the world, according to Forbes. This despite the fact that there are some secret billionaires we have there. So bandits demand 40 trillion naira. They don't say million. They don't say billion. During the time of Buhari, they were demanding millions. But how they jump from million now to billion simply because the naira have depreciated. Somebody who had $1 million some years back that is not even up to 100 million naira is now a billionaire in Nigeria. So for them to demand 40 trillion naira, they have made the calculations and know how much it worth. That even when they change it to dollars, it will amount to nothing. And they demanded 11 Hilux vans, new Hilux. They don't even say they need a innocent made car or not, or other car that been made in Nigeria. They need Japanese Hilux for them to arrange their equipment where they will say take the agitate for their own state. And they need 150 bikes as ransom for the Kaduna school children kidnaps, government college. When they show me the government college, they say this one is government college. And I look at it and said, why can't their government college be like that? Whereby the Ministry of Education don't even know A, in talk less of B, all his ancestors, all his, 5th, 6th, 10th, or even 50th generation to born, all of them, they have secured education for them outside the country where things are working. And you tell me Nigeria is not up for sale. If you ever come to my comment section and go bam, I will block your ear. Nigeria is for sale. If you know anyone where will give good offer, I beg bring it. Let us negotiate. My happiness, not because of the children they kidnapped. No, all those children, they are not guilty of anything. My only anger is that they leave the people they're supposed to be kidnapping, and they're kidnapping innocents. They're kidnapping the poor children and killing them for nothing's sake. Why the people who is bringing this calamity into their country, none is touching them. Not even any of the single family member. None of them. And you are kidnapping the poor. That is poor dealing with the poor. And the rich will not even send. The rich will not send them because none of any of the elite that such a thing happened. 40 trillion naira. Thank you, Bandit, for helping Biafra to gain more ground, because addition is happening As they are into confusion, Biafra are wallowing, and Biafra is like the Biafra. Now they are just rising like Gare. You know Gare Jebu. Once he put water, leave and small thing go the rise. And so Biafra go the rise. Anyway, my wonderful people, go make on help me share this message. And the headline, Nigeria for sale, and the disintegration of Nigeria is to the advantage of the Biafrans. The bandits in the northeast, northwest, and north central are now helping the Biafrans to do what? To make our agitation get grand, because the international community, since they say their ear is not listening, unless when Nigeria and Biafra turn to Hamas and Israel, that is when they will listen. No problem. And I go see which one I define very soon. Line where my wonderful people, let us read in between the line. Bandits who abducted 16 residents from the Goningora region of Kaduna State have demanded 40 trillion naira as ransom for their victims. Okute News report that apart from the huge monetary demand, the bandits also asked for 11 Hilux vans and 150 motorcycles in exchange for the 16 persons they are holding captive. Well, to collect the impression here, this one now for 16 people, the ones who kidnapped the 287 pupils from the primary and the secondary school. They call it government primary and government secondary school. They not yet make that demand, though. Maybe very soon now they will tell you the one half of Nigeria. Anyway, my grandmother bought in the so because this development was confirmed to newsmen by a community leader, John Yusuf, who said the bandits got in touch with the victims' families and asked for the items. You are demanding 40 trillion naira from the victims, not even from Nigeria. I mean, not even from the government. On a madness, you know, get part two. The bandits have contacted us. They demanded for 40 trillion naira, 11 Hilux vans, and 150 motorcycles for the release of the 16 people they are holding captive. Where are we going to get this kind of money? Even if we sell the entire community, we cannot raise 40 trillion naira. Even Nigeria as a country has never made a budget of 40 trillion naira. He said the community leader narrated that the bandits invaded the community 2 times within a week, and the security personnel are nowhere to be found. According to him, during the first attack, 3 people were kidnapped, while in the second attack, 13 people were abducted, bringing the total of the people behind being held captive to 16. He lamented the vast bushes bordering the community in Biriningwari local government area of the state and appealed for the establishment of a military base in to check the activities of the criminals. We are pleading with the government to come to our aid by establishing a military base behind our community where the bandits take advantage of the bushes to invade our community. From our community down to Biriningwari, which is over 150 kilometers, is a stretch of bush. We also have another stretch of bushes from Goningora down to Niger State. So when the criminals were free, criminals have free access through the bushes to our community, we are pleading with the government to help us. Yusuf acknowledged the Nigerian Army's efforts in combating the bandits' menace, but stressed that the security forces are overstretched in vast communities. He said the army are really trying despite the fact that they are seriously overstretched. Whenever we make this threat calls, they come. But the problem is that before they reach the community, the bandits, which have done what they wanted and left. The community leader further called to the federal government and the government to take proactive action to prevent the menace from consuming all of us. All of them, not us. Paul Kagame emerges as Rwanda's ruling party presidential candidate. After many decades of being the president, African Union will not see this one, but when there is coup now, the so-called ECOWAS and African Union will rise up, or what they call them, we rise up against the so-called coup plotters. Rwanda's ruling party has officially selected President Paul Kagame as its candidate for the upcoming July election. The latest development sets the stage for what is anticipated to be another term for a long-serving leader who had been in the helm of affairs for many years. Niger News report that Kagame, who is 66 years old, has been at the helm of the landlocked African nation for several decades. Not even one decade, for several decades. Having secured victory in the presidential elections held in 2003, 2010, and 2007. With the overwhelming support exceeding 90%. His candidacy was uncontested during the Rwanda's Patriotic Front Congress, which concluded on Saturdays as confirmed by the ruling party. Despite his acceptance of the nomination, Kagame emphasized the importance of the ruling party preparing for a future transition beyond his leadership. The burden of responsibility to lead our country can be equated to a shock absorber against the challenges we face daily. It requires the right mindset, AFP quoted Kagame saying. I accept this burden of responsibility, but with a call to get someone to relieve me of this responsibility, he added. Ukute News understand that the leader of the opposition Green Party, Frank Habineza, is currently the only non-challenger to President Kagame in the upcoming July polls. In the previous election, Habineza secured only 0.45% of the vote, placing third. However, this election was criticized by the rights group for irregularities and vote intimidation. Another potential challenger, Victoria Engalabire, leader of the unregistered Dafa Omorense movement, has been disqualified from running due to a previous conviction. A court decision regarding her eligibility to contest the presidency will be announced on March 13. The presidential and the parliamentary polls in Rwanda will take place on July 15, following the government's decision to synchronize the dates on July 16. Electoral colleagues and electoral colleges and committees will select 24 women MPs, 2 youth representatives, and a representative for disabled Rwandans. The campaign period for candidates will run from June 22 to July 12, as stated in the election calendar. Despite Rwanda being considered one of the most politically stable nations in Africa, human rights organizations criticize Kagame for governing under an atmosphere of fear that suppresses opposition and freedom of expression. Kagame, who previously led a rebel group, assumed the presidency in April of 2000, effectively becoming the country's leader after the conclusion of the 1994 genocide. In 2015, he oversaw contentious changes in the constitution that enabled him to seek additional terms and extend his tenure until 2034. Under the CM, African nation, African Union, whatever they call them, we not see all these ones. It's all right. We move. My people, now here me I go take a break. Me I don't have another thing to add. If you have anything you want to add on this, please add it at the comment section. I'll be right back. Like, share, comment, and make sure you subscribe. Que me